Hi, my name is Michael with Pack Leader USA. Today we're going to be looking at the installation and the setup of the ELF hot stamp printer. The ELF hot stamp printer works on the PL and the ELF series labeling machines. For demonstration purposes, we're going to be using the PL 211D for the ELF hot stamp printer. The four components that we're going to be going over for the ELF hot stamp printer are the bracket, the ELF hot stamp printer, the printer control box, and the air regulator on the side of the machine. To install your ELF hot stamp printer, you'll first need to install the bracket. There are 4 bolts that are given to you on the bracket, and there are also 4 pre-drilled holes to match those bolts, and that is where the bracket will be placed on top of the label head. Now that we've removed the 4 bolts, we can place the bracket onto the label head. You will want to make sure that there are 4 set screws for the bracket of the ELF printer. They'll be placed on the bottom and make sure that it is even on the bottom of the bracket. Also, make sure that they are all 4 placed on the bracket. This is the handle for the ELF hot stamp printer bracket. You want to make sure that there is a lock washer and a washer. Now we're ready to install the ELF hot stamp printer. There will be a bracket that will be placed on top of the printer. There will be 2 bolts that will be holding it in place. If this bracket is not on the printer, it will be placed on the main bracket. While placing the bracket on, you could go ahead and align the handle and start to tighten both of the brackets together. Now that you've installed the ELF hot stamp printer, we could go ahead and rotate the printer itself from one position to another. With rotating the printer and rotating the text, that will allow you to have 4 different orientations for the text. Before installing the printer control box, be sure to unplug the machine from the power outlet. We recommend on the PL series that you install the printer control box on the side on the main control box right here to stay away from any type of electrical components that could be inside. That may vary depending on the certain type of labeler that you have. When you do a drill inside, we recommend that you clear off any kind of metal shavings in the bottom of the main control box. Here we will be plugging in 2 of the wires here into the ELF hot stamp printer. We'll also be connecting the air hose into the ELF hot stamp printer, and the other end of the hose will be going into the air regulator. To plug in the printer control box, connect these 2 wires that came from the printer and connect it to the bottom of the printer control box. This 3rd wire will go from the bottom of the printer control box to the main control box on the bottom. Also, you will want to note that both of the gray wires are the same. Just match the male and female ends with the right connection. For demonstration purposes, we went ahead and installed the air regulator on the side of the labeling machine. Next, you will want to install the other end of the air hose. The air regulator will let you know, depending on the arrow that is inside or on the bottom, and it'll point you in the direction of which side is the output. You will need to then connect your in-feed air hose into the other end. It's important to note that the proper air pressure for the regulator is going to be set at 60 psi. Go ahead and pull the top portion and turn it to the right to increase the amount of air going through the air regulator. Once you have it set, push it down, and you'll have the right amount of air pressure going into the ELF hot stamp printer. To install the ribbon on the ELF hot stamp printer, you will first need to remove the 2 clamps that are on the blue guards. Once you remove the 2 clamps, remove the blue guards, and then you can place or replace your ribbons on the printer. You'll want to have the ribbon come down and up to the right above the 2 rollers, down the side of the printer, and below the 2 plastic rollers. After that, it'll come around above the rubber roller, below the plastic roller, and wrapped around the cardboard core. Once you've done that, you could place the blue guards back on, and then now you could put the clamps back in place. To replace the text or to change the text, you will need to first take out the text box from the hot stamp printer. You can see that the EXP and the 2020 are backwards. It's like that for the text to come out straight when it's printed. The 2 rubber pieces on the text block is what's holding the text in place, so that way it's not moving around when printed. Now that we've installed and set up the printer, we could go ahead and thread the labels through the label head. We'll also want to make the labels match the same thread pattern as this description right here on the label head. First, take off the reel and set the reel back on. You'll want to tighten the reel so that way the labels don't move and come off of the label head. Take the labels around the brake arm, around 1 pole and around a second. Be sure that there is tension on the felt pad. You'll want to feel the labels above the bracket and in between the bracket and the printer. So that way the printer is able to print the text onto the labels. Next, you want to keep feeding it through the next roller, in between the label sensor and down past the peel plate. Take the labels in between the PU roller and the knurl roller and over the knurl roller guard. Once you've done that, be sure that the labels are flush with the bottom of the PU roller and the peel plate. Lock in the knurl roller guard, and now you're able to tighten it back up. This button right here is a test button. If you push it, it allows for you to see how close each print is for the label. This bolt here on the bottom of the ELF hot stamp printer is an adjustment bolt that adjusts the amount of ribbon that is being used for each print, for each label. To adjust how even the print is on the ELF hot stamp printer and also the depth, you'll need to adjust each of the 4 set screws. Once you've adjusted it and you feel that each side is fairly even, you could go ahead and test and see if it prints onto the label evenly. Next, you can visually see onto the label that the print is even and clear. To get the printer control box set up and turned on, just flip the switch. We will need to go ahead and use the up and down arrows over here on the right. Use the up arrows to increase the temperature and the down arrows to decrease the temperature. The bottom temperature is where the temperature is set at, and this top one is where it's currently at right now. It is also reading in Celsius, so that is something to pay attention to. You can increase it up to anywhere from 110 to 150 degrees Celsius, depending upon the thickness of your labels. Since you've turned on your machine, press the enter button. After that, press setting mode. You'll read hot stamp printer on the bottom left corner, and it says off right now. Just click that on. Now that the printer's on, you can see that it says 0.15 seconds. You can increase that or decrease that from 0 seconds to 10 seconds, but we will leave that at 0.15 seconds. You can increase it or decrease it just a little bit, but you will most likely stay within that range, depending on the thickness of your label. To learn more about the ELF hot stamp printer, please visit our website at packleaderusa.com.